Emails from Hunter Biden's laptop contain records the Secret Service did not hand over to lawmakers. And it's been big news today about the laptop. We've been reporting on the laptop since, what was it, about a year ago, since before the presidential election, and was being censored, and they was trying to discredit us, but we've been on it from the very beginning. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out. Also, subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I go live. And check out my link tree that's in the description. It has a link to to my my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here, and also check out my merch store where I have Let's Go Brandon T-shirts, I Will Not Comply T-shirts, and all whole different types of T-shirts. All right, let's talk about this news. For years, Republican lawmakers have sought Hunter Biden's travel records as part of a large review of Biden's use of Secret Service protection while his father was vice president. But the Secret Service claimed it was unable to identify any such communications for several years during which Biden received Secret Service protection, frustrating those efforts. However, emails from Hunter Biden's laptop confirmed that the Secret Service did coordinate Biden's travels during the years for which the Secret Service told Republican senators they could not find such communications. On January 18, 2022, Senator Chuck Schumer and Ron Johnson wrote to Director of the Secret Service requesting that the agency produce records involving Hunter Biden and his use of government-sponsored travel while he conducted private business. This letter complained that records previously provided to Congress contained inappropriate redactions and asked for unredacted copies of those documents. The lawmakers also demanded an explanation for why the Secret Service, quote, did not provide any communication records for those years of 2010, 2011, and 2013. Now, we know he been doing some shady stuff out in Ukraine, out in Russia. He got ties to China, and all this stuff was in his emails, and we reported on all that stuff on my old channel that got deleted. But you can check out that stuff on Odyssey, and I got a link to Odyssey also, where you can check out all the old videos that got deleted from YouTube. But Secret Service Director James M. Murray wrote back to the senators on February 14th, quote, the Secret Service worked extensively with your committees and agreed to search parameters provided by your office as to identify communications regarding Mr. Biden's travel. Quote, these search parameters did not yield communications for the years 2010, 2011, or 2013, Murray said. But dozens of email records reported by Just the News appear to contradict what the Secret Service told Grassley and Johnson. So they're blatantly lying to Congress. For example, Secret Service records show that between May 15th and May 17th, 2011, Biden took a trip to Mexico with Secret Service protection. The plans for that trip were discussed ahead of time in communications between the then Vice President's son and Secret Service agents. Just the News reveals, quote, Hunter, when you have some free time, I would like to discuss the monetary trip with you, Secret Service agent Yvonne DeCristoforo wrote to Biden on April 28, 2011. Quote, I have some specific information to provide you that we received from our Mexico City office, she said. Quote, I know you are out of the office this evening, but if you could contact me at your convenience, I would appreciate it. The email was contained on a Hunter Biden laptop that is now in FBI custody. Just the News reported it was just one of 6 emails reviewed by the outlet that showed Biden communicating with his Secret Service handlers, including in the year for which the Secret Service did not hand over any records. But some of the emails Just the News reported included subject lines like upcoming trip or all checked in that clearly identify them as emails related to Biden travel. The Secret Service did not respond when asked why these communications were not turned over to the senators. I think because it's some shady stuff that went on That's why they couldn't release that information. But in statement to just but in statements to Just the News, both Grassley and Johnson sharply criticized the Secret Service for failing to produce these emails. Quote, for years, Senator Johnson and I have been trying to get a clear picture of Hunter Biden's communications with the Secret Service when he was under their protection, Grassley said. The Secret Service says they don't have any records for 3 years during Hunter Biden's time as a protectee, but I have reason to believe they do. In fact, I suspect uh, there was also communication between Secret Service employees and Hunter Biden even after his protection ended. The Secret Service needs to come clean, and I intend to get to the bottom of this discrepancy. Johnson demanded that the agency, quote, immediately produce all records responsive to our October 2020 request or explain to us why the agency did not retain records it is required by law to retain. Quote, the Secret Service inability or perhaps unwillingness, and that's what I believe it is, I think it's the unwillingness to comply with my request for recording, for records related to Hunter Biden is unacceptable, he said. Quote, we now know that Hunter Biden laptop contained records that the Secret Service claimed they did not possess and therefore failed to produce to me and Senator Grassley. I can think of only two explanations for the lack of compliance. Either the Secret Service is incompetent or it is corrupt. And I believe it's corrupt. That's what I've been alluding to for the whole time, from the beginning, is that they are corrupt. They're covering Hunter Biden for some reason. He was doing something illegal, something terrible out there in those years. So that's why they didn't produce that information for his travel. But Just the News obtained the emails from a laptop a Delaware repair shop owner said was abandoned by Hunter Biden in 2019. And, I went over that in ad nauseum. Again, you can check that out by clicking, if you go to my link tree and click on Odyssey, you can find all my old videos on that. But the New York Post was the first to report that the laptop had been seized by the FBI in December 2019. The content of some of the emails stored on it suggested that the Biden family, including then presidential candidate Joe Biden, had been involved in a corrupt business dealing with Burisma Holdings, a Ukrainian energy company, which prompted Republican lawmakers to investigate the matter. And, again, I talked about all of that, the whole Burisma stuff, how he was on the board. What he doing on the board of an energy company? He don't know anything about energy. It's because he was getting kickbacks, and his dad, which in the email they called the big guy, was getting, I think, I can't remember the percentage. I want to say like 10% or something like that. He was kicking back to his dad. Like, it's this whole family is corrupt. But when the New York Post first broke the Hunter Biden laptop story, mainstream media outlets, including the New York Times, attempted to discredit the paper's reporting as Russia disinformation. And it seems like everything, if it's contrary to the narrative, the mainstream narrative, or the narrative that the White House is putting out, they call it Russian disinformation. Even though the Post reporting was confirmed by the Daily Caller in October 2020, the Times did not recognize the authenticity of Biden's emails until Wednesday, March 17, 2022. And that's sad, because I've been reporting on it since that story first broke. When was it? In December 2019. I remember when it first came out, because I was reporting on it heavily. Was getting censored, shadow banned, and all that stuff for just reporting on truthful stuff. And they didn't want this to hurt. They didn't want this to hurt Biden's chances of winning the election. So they lied, said it was not real. And I remember during the debate how Biden tried to discredit it and call it Russian information or disinformation. But let me know what you think about all this. Like, share, and subscribe again. And check out democrepublics.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace. Oh,